Josh, you're too hard on yourself, man. Honestly, like, our internal talk with ourselves largely determines our happiness in life. Because no matter what we have, no matter where we go, in the end, it's what we say to ourselves that really matter. And you gotta fix that negative talk, Josh. You gotta talk to yourself better. Positive self-talk is one of the pillars of mental toughness. You got breath control, positive self-talk, visualization, and goals and micro goals. Those are like the pillars of mental toughness. And your internal dialogue with yourself has to be positive, otherwise you'll never be happy. So even if you do bad at something, the positive way of looking at that is, what can I do to make this better? So you're taking something negative and you're making it positive. You don't pretend that you're not bad. If you did bad in something, like your performance is bad in something, acknowledge it. But the way you get better, Josh, the way we're gonna get better is by asking ourselves, what can we do about it to make it better, and then working towards that, working towards our goals.
We're losing this fight.
Just some real talk here and there, every now and then.
No, I'm hurt.
I honestly didn't have many friends growing up, YNG. I was so extremist with, like, making YouTube videos. But the positive way of looking at that is, it's never too late to make friends and to change our life, like, no matter where we are. And here I am, like, streaming and, like, making all kinds of friends. It's just in a different way. And I've definitely become more social over the years. Don't let your past determine your future. Like, don't let it cripple it. Like, we're always changing. We could be whatever we want to be. We could do whatever we want to do. If you had no friends in elementary, like you, or you had little friends growing up in school, it's never too late to still make friends in the future. And now I have a good amount of friends. But at the same time, I would say good quality friends, ones that you could, like, have deep talks with, and also at the same time laugh with them. Those are the kind of friends you really want. And realistically, we can only have, like, a handful of those kind of friends in life, but those are the ones you really need. You don't... It's not worth it having all kinds of friends, like hundreds of friends, but you can't have deep, meaningful conversations with them. And those are the type of friendships where it doesn't take much to break that friendship. Because that's when you know how strong a friendship really is. When crap happens, arguments happen between you two, but your friendship still stands. And when that happens, when you come out of that argument, you should actually feel good if your friendship is still there, because then it's like, hey, we just argued like crazy, but we're still friends. That says a lot about our friendship. I actually like the fact that we went through that argument, because it showed that our friendship is real and it can withstand that. But at the same time, and I'll read these comments in chat, I'm just kind of like in my zone right now, just getting into this kind of talk. At the same time, we sometimes have friendships where crap happens, arguments happen, but that friendship doesn't stand anymore. And that's when you need to know you have to let that friend go. That's when you know it. The friendship, that's when you know they're not really your friend anymore. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but you have to move on and accept the belief that people come and go. And it's time for them to go if they don't withstand those arguments. I'm never happy, I'm always grumpy and stuff, and don't even have real friends. Josh says, I've never had friends. The closet I was is some kid asking me to kick the ball to the soccer field. I mean, Josh, I would go to say that you've got some friends in this chat here. I'm your friend, even though there's like a big age difference. Robo and YNG are your friends too, man. 13, he jokes around a lot, but he likes you, Josh. Even online friends are worth having, man. You never know, you might meet them in real life eventually, and that'll help solidify your friendship. It's hard to like look at your friends and be like, okay, I have friends, and then pull the online list over and say, these are also my friends. It's hard to do that sometimes because you initially don't think about your non-physical friends, but your online friends are your friends just as much as your physical ones. I talk to my online friends more than I do physical ones, to be honest. But physical ones, it does feel different because you're like actually in the space with them. I've changed a lot from when I was in elementary. Yeah, Robo, we're always changing. But when you keep your mentality positive, then we change in a good direction. I don't even have friends. I have skin dishes. My parents abused me. I have asthma and eczema. So yeah, I have eczema too on my hands. I've had eczema since I was in elementary school. You can't spread it by like touching someone's hand. But I always remember the day in elementary school, we're sitting in a circle and I held this kid's hand. And we were all holding each other's hand. And then when we let go, I noticed, like at the end of the little game we were playing, I let go and I noticed he had eczema on his hand. And for years I thought I got it from him and I was mad. I held a grudge against the guy for like a while. Eventually I learned you can't get it from other people. But dude, I have eczema too. When my skin goes under the hot water, it'll burn, but then it'll feel really good. Because the eczema is having like a reaction. And then it'll go away. And it took me a while to control not putting my hand in the water. Because it was getting like addicting. That's kind of like a weird problem, I know. But you can relate to that. As for asthma, like I'm sorry to hear that. And your parents, man. Ferg says, and he's tried to end, and I try to end my life, but I'm still here. So stop being negative. Well, I'm glad you're with us, Ferg. I've had some people in my chat also, I wouldn't say in my chat, I'd just say I've known some people in our community that has also done the same. And I said the same thing to them. I'm glad they're here, and I'm glad you're here, man. I love you, bro. I love you, Ferg. I made my first friend in freshman. Yeah, and we'll all continue to make friends too, man. Throughout life, no matter where we are. Honestly, man, the older generation, you might find that you make great friends with like adults because they're more mature. But if you're young, like that comes in time. As you get older, you're gonna make more and more like older friends. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way, EXO. Guys, I'm sorry I'm so behind on chat. I was not expecting like this deep convo out of nowhere. Ferg, you think I haven't tried suicide? You're wrong. Ever since I was 6 years old, I would decide to get the knife, live another day. And I'll just say again, man, I'm glad you're here, Josh. I love you too, Josh. I love all you guys. If you're thinking about suicide, please don't do it. And you need to look up this National Suicide Hotline number and call that and talk to them because they do that for a living. They help people out of dark places. When I left them, I found better people, and a couple months later, I'm not here. I'm glad to hear that, EXO. This guy right here changed my life in motivational videos. YNG, that motivates me to make more for my fitness channel because I can slack on that sometimes. But I'm so glad to hear that, man. And I'll be screenshotting some of these comments. Like I love hearing that kind of stuff. And Critchmo is new here. He says chat's getting dark. It is, but like what I love about this, man, is when we get serious, we often don't talk about like these really, really deep problems because normally, you know, we're just playing games, having fun. But when the chat starts talking about this kind of stuff, it's amazing to see how we're actually all the same, really. We all have similar problems, even though we don't talk about it. And when you see strangers, you think they're like a stranger, but really, they're so much alike you that you don't even know. And next thing you know, when you're in a chat talking about this kind of stuff, suddenly everyone that you normally laugh about and hang out with in the chat, and minimal comments you see from them, now all of a sudden you see that they're talking about all their problems. And they're just like you. They have all their problems and personal problems too. That's what I actually love about this. Like, it reminds us that we're actually kind of all the same. And we all have problems. And that's why we need to be positive and like help each other out and focus on this kind of stuff. Rather than complain about petty things in life. And Ferg says I was depressed when I lost my brother, the only person that cared about me. Oh my gosh, man. I feel so sad reading comments like that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Ferg. I love you, bro. I'm glad you're with us, man. Whether you follow me for like a year, like a week or a day, just surround yourself with positive people, man. That's like the bottom line, like the law of attraction. You become like the people you're around. Just Surround yourself with life, and if your like close ones are toxic or close friends are toxic, you can still surround yourself with like positive people online. And I'm not even talking about just me, but like podcasts. Listen to really stuff that you love, like stuff that lifts you up, music that lifts you up, like YouTube videos that you love. Maybe you find like a golden retriever TikTok page that you love. You know, like you can still make your life positive even if like the center of it is negative, like your family. I'm not saying your family is negative, but I know there's someone that has that kind of family. Hold up, who is Creech? He's new to our chat. I know what depression is like, but it gets better. I know from personal experience. Yeah, if anyone has that similar problem, you can even reach out to Robo here, or even Exo. They both said they've had that issue. Personally, I've never had an issue of depression. We all have like a biological baseline where, listen carefully, it's actually true. We all have different levels that we go back to. Like here's like the happiness scale, here's super happy, here's like depressed, and we all have different levels we normally go back to. So someone may feel kind of like really happy all the time and don't really know why. It's just biologically they happen to return to that point. And other people like, why do I feel like bad all the time? Kind of down. It's because their biological point's like a little lower. That doesn't mean you're screwed for life, or you're just like there's no point trying. But there is actually science that we go to different points. Some people are just happier normally than others. And other people vice versa. But obviously like your life influences that too. Like if you normally kind of feel bad, but you take a lot of action to do things you love and all that kind of stuff, you're never really gonna be there. You're gonna be higher. But every now and then I think it would go back down for that kind of person. I lost my uncle, my other uncle, my grandpa, and then my grandpa. Yeah, you've lost a lot of people, Josh, but we're here for you, man. I remember you saying that kind of stuff earlier on a different stream. I've never hugged anybody. I would always reject it. Yeah, you gotta find a way to open up, man, when you're ready. I lost my brother, my sister, my friend, my grandpa, my uncle. See, I believe that they, like, past ones watch over us still. And sometimes they can even, like, communicate with us. Like, through dreams. Because I've had some crazy dreams. Ones that, like, it's just kind of hard to explain. But, I've lost some people too, and people who are experienced with grief, they've given me the advice to always think of like all the happy moments with them, because they would want us to be happy. They would want us to feel those happy memories again. Yo, YNG, man, I'm sorry you've been depressed before. That's actually like new. I haven't heard you say that. And I guess just going back to what I've said before, I'm trying to say like helpful things to each one of you guys, because I honestly care about you guys so much. Why don't you just go back to what I said before, like surround yourself with positive people, law of attraction, work toward things that make you happy, surround yourself with those happy things, and keep your thoughts positive. Like talk to yourself in a positive way, uplift yourself like you would a teammate. Because a teammate, like how would you talk to a teammate when you're lifting them up? You're gonna say supportive things to you. You're gonna say supportive things to them. So why shouldn't we talk like that to ourselves? So really get that right. And I think that'll really help you. And everyone else that has like depression. Even if you don't have depression, I think that's a great mentality. And I'm glad FaZe is like, if you ever need to talk, we're here for you. Ferg, sorry for your loss, but I gotta go play with a friend. Alright, Josh, I'll see you around, man. Even X says I'm your friend. I feel like this has become one of those talks with a bunch of people who are depressed or had been depressed in the past. It's always surprising to me how many people, like, say they've been depressed. I'm not trying to take away anything from you guys, but sometimes people will say they're depressed when they're really just like unhappy. Depression really is like you don't feel like doing anything. There's like no color in your day. You don't have the motivation to like do anything. But if you guys are truly like that, like, I'm sorry, like that's a horrible feeling. And I've never really been there, but I've had been in those places, not depressed, but like feel kind of like it when I don't feel like doing anything, and I feel like everything looks colorless. And I just don't feel like doing anything. It happens sometimes when I'm in like a limbo stage where I like change my goals, and I'm just like kind of drifting for a little bit because I don't know what I'm doing. And when that happens, I'm like, man, I don't really feel like doing anything because what am I working towards? That's really how you combat depression. Is like, what goals do you want to do? Like, what do you want to work towards? Because those passions will anchor you and pull you through anything. And if you don't feel like doing anything, then I think the answer is to just try to enjoy the little things in life and experiences. And I think that kind of starts with your family, I'd say. And it really does get better, Josh. Yeah, there's so many highs and lows to life. You gotta like expect it, you know? Like in everyone's life, they all have lows, man. No one has a perfect life. No one has no problems. Basically, food and playing video games were my life back then until I found this streamer. Yo, I love you, YNG. I know this is off topic, but Black Space 1 again. Okay. Yeah, we've taken forever. Honestly, I think this conversation is worth having, and I think it's needed for some people. I think some people in chat like need to hear this kind of stuff. Maybe I'm the only person giving them direction. If that's the case, like, yeah, I'm glad we're having this talk because I know who I am and I have a good mentality. I used to be on my boxing team at college. I used to be in like a boxing club. I used to do so well with all that. I changed my mentality in that whole phase. And I've always been very good at doing what I love in life and not letting negative things affect me. So I believe I'm in a position to like educate people on a good mentality. I honestly do. Like, I've had people say so many horrible things to me, but here I am, like, streaming, face cam as well. And changing people's lives. Don't want to be prideful when I say that, but, like, when you have the confidence to do what you love, it also gives confidence to your words. And if it gives confidence to your words, if you're confident with your words, you're confident with your thoughts. And if you're confident with your thoughts, you control your life. And you live a happy life because of it. I feel like depression has become more of a thing in younger generations. I feel like it's, yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's becoming way more common too. I think social media and the fakeness that comes with it is horrible. I think that doesn't help people at all. That was such a good talk. I'm glad you guys had that talk with me. I hope you found that useful as well. And honestly, to anyone that's depressed, do the things I recommended in this video. But I love all of you guys. Please don't think of suicide, because that was mentioned a couple times. And if that's something you are thinking about, please type in National Suicide Hotline Prevention. And you need to be there, not here right now.